Cheers, ladies.
Cheers, girls.
Here's to another ladies' night.
Hey, it's Real Estate Barbie, and thank you for joining us for another ladies' night with the Pussy Posse.
Harper Hill.
Jenny, Rebecca.
Tori.
So tonight we are going to get into our topic, but before that, we have to remind you that we have a drinking game because we like to drink. That's why we get together. These cards are designed to get us drunk, and the rules that we're going to play by, like we need a game to get us drunk. The cards are going to give us things to get drunk, and the way that we're going to do it is if we point at each other or if we call each other by name, then already she starts. Drink. If we call each other by name or point at each other, then we have to use our card to get drunk. And if one card doesn't get us drunk, certainly there'll be another one. Guys at home, go get your drink, make it a double, join us. If one of us is your favorite and we drink, you drink. If we all drink, you drink. Let's just drink. I feel like I need
Cheers.
another drink.
Cheers to that. I'll drink to that.
Drinking games.
Also, tonight, guys, our topic of conversation is chivalry. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but chivalry comes from back in the days of the Knights of the Round Table. And being that it's ladies' night and you're our ladies' knights, we want to share with you some information about chivalry. We're not saying you don't already know. We're saying we want to help because sometimes some people think chivalry's gone by the wayside. We don't believe in that. We don't believe in that. And there's little ways you can show chivalry that aren't necessarily going to break the bank, or you don't have to really make grand gestures. It's little things. So turn it over to you, Tori.
And we also want to thank our VIP Patreon subscribers. We appreciate you. We thank you. And we want to let you know that we are going to be dropping photos and videos throughout the week, especially for you. And we're looking forward to hearing your feedback, your questions, and your comments. So thanks.
Yay.
And follow us on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, and follow us on YouTube.
Perfect. All right, guys.
Is chivalry dead?
No, absolutely not. Not in my
I
opinion.
hope not. I feel like in this land of Me Too, which is not necessarily my point of view, I feel like in our Me Too society, guys have just kind of given up because they feel like they can't win if they do and can't win if they don't. And so we kind of have created a situation where they don't know what to do. They don't know what's appropriate. And to be honest, it seems like quite a lot of the guys out there don't give two shits. And that's kind of how I see it. I want somebody to open my doors and be chivalrous and be kind and be a gentleman. But it's not happening that much out there. What do you think?
Well, not to be controversial or be a contrarian, but I think the Me Too thing has zero to do with chivalry. I don't think Me Too's not a thing. I think there are plenty of men out there who have sisters and you know, cousins, mothers, people that might have been affected by a Me Too situation.
Sure.
So they might be, I think they can be sensitive to the Me Too movement and be chivalrous. In fact, I think men that are sensitive to the Me Too movement are chivalrous. I think that they do that. I think that you might be maybe referring to, I know we've got some mutual friends that might suffer from just being screwed over by girls. And it's not Me Too-ish at all. It's get me a free fucking dinner and then do all this and that for me.
Right.
And then, you know, I'll talk to you when I talk to you if I feel like it. So I don't necessarily feel like Me Too has anything to do with shitting on chivalry or men saying, I'm giving up on chivalry because I'm going to get accused of rape. I think that's different. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
But I guess you're right. You're right. It is different. I'm just saying in our day and age.
Right.
It's not the way it was maybe in the 50s or 60s. And I'm not saying I was around then because I wasn't. And none of us were. But those movies that you watch and the things that you see and that little bit of like, it's beyond romance. It's that consideration that is just being kind. And I'm that kind of person in general. I'm somebody that I feel like I'm a kind person and I do things. If I think of somebody, I do things out of the kindness of my heart. And I think that men nowadays, more often than not, don't go that extra little mile to make us feel special or to make us feel like a lady as much. And to me, that's what chivalry is treating us like a lady, like a proper lady, rather than like some, just, you want to slap my ass? Open the door first. Open the door for me and
then
sit me
slap me on my ass on the way into the car.
Slap my ass on the way out of the car after you open the door for me. And that, I think, is a good mix of being chivalrous and being, modern or contemporary or flirtatious or maybe not super chivalrous. And I appreciate that. But I think that a lot of men nowadays have been, like you said, shit on by women that just are, the term that goes around all the time, of course, is a gold digger. But it's like, have you seen me? You should be buying me dinner. That's the attitude with so many. And I think there's probably more of an age bracket of ladies that are kind of in that space, and they might be 20s to 30s, because I hope that we outgrow that a little bit if that's how we are when we're younger.
Right.
I wasn't that when I was younger. You girls probably were not either, because we're not those kinds of people. But there's a lot of that out there. And yeah, we totally have mutual friends that are like screwed over and just fed up to here with the ladies. I say that term loosely because they're probably a little loose. But I think that we helped create that scenario where we're not experiencing the things that we want to as much. I know you've done your homework. I know you've done your homework.
I have a theory as well, and my theory is partly it's you have to. It isn't just these things aren't just given you or done for you. You have to not demand, but command that kind of behavior. Yeah, because if you put up with someone treating you a certain way, then they're going to treat you a certain way. If you don't put up with it, then they're not going to treat you that way. And it's also, my other theory is, it's the way you're raised. When you watch your parents, that's your ideological couple. That's your way to know what a man and a woman like are together when they love each other, what they look like. Right. So you need to be an example for your kids. Your parents were your example, and then you need to pass that on. Both the man, the boys and the girls need that from their father and their mother. And I think when I meet a guy whose dad taught him how to open the door for a woman, taught him how, and his mom.
Pull out a chair.
Yeah, and moms teach their sons too, what a woman wants. I see it all the time, and I can tell. Right. I mean, it's right. It's just instinct. They do it no matter what. Even to women they're not interested in. Absolutely. They're just that person. Right. So, in my opinion, that's how it's I guess portrayed on to the next generation, or handed down to the next generation, or whatever. And maybe a lot of people drop the ball. But I think it's still out there. I believe there's still a lot of men that do that, and I'm waiting for one of them.
Me too.
Right?
Me too. That's so funny. Me too. I'm waiting
Did you
for
just
that.
call yourself by name?
Yeah, I think she should drink.
All right, I'll drink. Okay. Last person to clap their hands drinks.
That was
She
me.
was
She was drinking. Coincidentally,
I was sure I wasn't going to have to drink. That's why.
Guys, did you drink at home? Drink.
I think you guys we're all hitting on some very great things. Chivalry is not dead. It just has evolved over time. And you hit the nail right on the head in a way. I think you should treat every woman as if she were your mother. How many times do we open the door for strangers? Open the door. Now, I understand a lot of women put on this, I'm powerful, I'm this, and you know what? You don't need them. You don't need them. You want somebody you can treat like a lady. Do the chivalrous things. Open the doors. If you're taking a car service, offer, she doesn't have to accept it, but offer to scooch in first, because usually they have you on the curb, on the passenger side. Well, if a woman scooches over, her dress is going to get all bunched. Offer to scooch in first so she doesn't have to. when you're together, shut off your phone. Put your phone away.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
That's a big one.
You know, if you did have a date, call them, or not call them, but text them. Just wanted to make sure you made it home okay.
Oh, for
Those
sure.
are signs of chivalry. They show that you care. And if someone is not receptive to that they're not going to treat you well. You don't need it.
Correct.
You deserve the same chivalry that you get,
Absolutely.
Right.
or that you give.
Absolutely.
That you
Oh,
give.
I think I'll drink.
Yeah.
But there's all kinds of things like there's a good morning text. I think that is wonderful when they do like a little voice text. Like,
Yeah.
just wanted you to know I thought of you first thing this morning. Have a great day. Boom.
Yeah,
You
you're
know?
a gentleman then. It's chivalry is being a gentleman.
Polite.
And treat a lady like a lady. It's pretty simple, actually.
And it goes both,
Both
ways.
ways. Both ways.
It definitely goes both ways. I was seeing a guy, and he did the sweetest thing, and this actually goes to some other things we've talked about, but he took a picture of me asleep in the morning. He left to go to work, and he took a picture of me asleep. I'm sure I looked adorable, but he sent it to me, and he said, it was so hard to leave this morning. And I was like, oh my God.
Where is he?
You don't want to know that.
Yeah, come on.
Like, what a sweet thing to do. Again, you know, it's free. It costs him 10 seconds. But even the fact that he thought to even take that picture and then leave and an hour later send me that text with that picture, I'm like, what the fuck?
That is so sweet.
Super, super sweet.
Yeah.
Even things like when you go out, offer to pay. If the woman says, no, I'll pay half, that's fine. But offer to pay. Extend, you know, the gentleman things.
Right. I agree with that. And then I also look at it from a man's perspective, especially a man like men that we know that have kind of been screwed over. That the guy goes on date after date, and of course he's sitting there with his wallet just shelling out, and getting a knuckle bump at the end of the night. Not saying that if a guy buys you dinner, you owe him sex, but you generally have a feeling. We're both adults. We kind of know where if we're going somewhere, if we're not going somewhere. I don't even want a guy to take me to a nice restaurant if I really don't feel like there's something there. I mean, let's be buddies. If we're going to be buddies and knuckle bump, let's go to McDonald's.
And we spoke about that when we talked about dating and first dates and getting
Yeah.
to know somebody and getting from offline to in person. And definitely, like, I don't need somebody to take me out for $100 plus dinner on a first date.
Right.
Great if that's what you want, but I'd rather meet you in a situation where I'm not going to be taking advantage of you,
Right.
right? Like, I don't need you to buy me stuff right now. Maybe later, when we do go to dinner, when you want to take me out and open the door for me, but I'll, like you said, I want to meet you and know you.
But there are
before.
these women that do expect
Oh,
that.
100%.
They want these men to
Guys,
do
don't
the
go
most,
with those women.
do the most, and then get little in return.
Right,
And like you said, it goes both ways. You give as good as you get. And you know what? If I go to a dinner that I've ordered a $50 meal, I want to offer to help pay. But like you said, I'll pay for my half. But he should kind of say, no, I got this. And then. I mean, for me, I don't let the check get to the table. If I really want to pay, the check never makes it to the table. We know that trick. That's a good trick, guys, right? If you are, and that's very impressive to a female if you're taking her out to dinner and you're planning to pay for the meal anyway, the check never makes it to the table. You go to the restroom, you excuse yourself. When she goes to the restroom, you call the waiter over, you slide your credit card to them. The check never makes it to the table, because for me, if the check makes it to the table, I'm under the assumption that he's probably expecting me to pull my wallet out too. That's just what I've been used to. I don't know.
What about using chivalry to meet a new prospective date, right?
Perfect.
How would you
perfect.
do that?
Okay. Like say we're out and let's say you want to meet Jenny one really great way to do is to approach the table and just say, hi, I'm Jeff. I just had to say, you ladies light up this restaurant. Are you celebrating anything special? I'm Jeff, by the way, and you are?
Right.
Go around. And if there's a woman that you're interested in, just linger a second longer. Ask him if they're, again, ask them, are you celebrating something? They'll prattle on about blah, 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 blah. And just say, well, I'm going to be over at the boring section if you guys need me. If they don't invite you to the table, I guarantee the minute you leave, they're going to be like, oh, did you see him?
Go. He was looking at you. He was looking at
He was looking at you. And that's a very easy way to go and meet.
A gentlemanly way to go
Yes,
and meet.
compliment the entire table, not just one person.
And it's not untoward the way you said it. It's not skeevy to say you ladies are lighting up the room rather than, man, you guys all have great boobs. You know what I mean?
Or you look hot.
Yeah, you guys
or-
look hot.
look
I
hot
mean,
all the time.
honestly, what a beautiful thing to say. You light up a room. That's so complimentary, and that just makes you shine from within for someone to say that to you. To say you look hot. I mean, what thought went into that, really?
That's what Barbie's going to tell me that before we leave. Oh, you look hot. Oh, sorry. Wait, cards? Cards. Starting with you, take turns naming a beer brand. Continue until someone hesitates or repeats a brand. That person drinks. Coors.
Leinenkugel.
Linnemans.
Budweiser.
Qingtao.
Miller.
Yep.
Drink.
Sephora. My one's drinking.
Drink again.
Nobody said Corona.
Not yet.
That's what I'm drinking.
I was getting there.
Here's the Corona.
Here's the Corona.
Corona.
And even when you're out somewhere, like say you are at the grocery store, again, don't say, hey, I really like those
Nice
melons.
melons.
You know, just make a comment like, do you know how to tell if they're ripe? I'm lost here.
Help me.
Yeah. That's
You know,
good.
something. Comment on the surroundings.
Yes. I like all of that. That's great information to give. You know, don't come over and say, do you like kielbasa? I mean, none of that.
Sausage.
Just something that's actually benign, something that's not threatening or creepy. And then that's a way to start a conversation. I mean, honestly, the way we would talk to each other, you know, if we ran into each other at a grocery store and to say something like that, I would say to another woman if I don't know how to see if a melon's ripe, because I don't. What do I do, thump it? I don't know. But,
On a watermelon, you look for the yellow spot.
oh, really? And if it has a yellow spot, it's good on the
It's
innards?
good to go.
Okay.
I thumped them. I didn't know.
I thump them too, and I still don't know what I'm looking for.
Also, on a cantaloupe,
Smell it.
smell it. And if it
tip.
smells sweet.
You smell the tip.
And you
Is there really a tip of a watermelon? If there was, this girl could find it.
I don't think she's talking about cantaloupe at all.
You smell the tip.
But yeah, I would probably smell the tip before I ate it too.
And just making a general comment or a question like that helps you get a gauge on if she engages, if there's any interest there.
True.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
because
there's
she
a
could
little
say, I don't
chemistry.
know. I don't know how to do that. Or she could say, you know what? I don't know. Let's Google
Let's
it.
ask
Whatever.
somebody else.
Yeah.
Let's get the produce manager.
Yeah.
This is a full-scale yaya investigation.
Where's the yellow spot?
If you walk away with no other information from the show tonight, that yellow spot is a big deal. And sniffing the tip of the cantaloupe.
And thumping.
We didn't figure out
Oh,
what
you're not supposed to thump.
Thump this. Oh my
Okay.
goodness. So chivalry
Chivalry for dating. Chivalry for what
needs
else?
to be alive, needs to be tended to on both sides,
And received.
received, and receive it well. Try.
I have a girlfriend, and she's in a new relationship, and it's unfortunate. She's 40 something. She's 45. She's been in a lifelong marriage since she was a teenager, since high school, and her husband passed away in September. But the relationship was what it was. He's been sick his entire life, and she was his caretaker, and that's what her whole life has been. And then he passed away in September, and she met someone. I don't know how she met him, and he's like, she wanted these Nikes. He got them. He just got her an Apple 6 watch. The other day, it was cold in the morning. He went out and started her car. She doesn't even know from that life. He started her car. He saw that it was on empty. He followed her to the gas station and pumped her gas, and she's never known that in her life.
Thoughtful.
Can I interrupt?
Yes.
Chivalry is not all about doing things.
Right?
Right.
You know, it's a feeling. Sometimes just like, are you having a good time? Can I do something to make this better?
Right.
You know,
True.
it's not all about do for me, do for me.
I
Right. Or
agree.
spend for me. It's not
I
that.
agree. Well, like starting her car, like that was free.
It's just thoughtful.
It was just something thoughtful that he did, and it blew her mind. And she messaged me, and her mind is blown because she's 45 years old and never had an experience like that somebody started her car. I mean,
She should be messaging him like, you blew my mind. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
oh, I think
I'm
she's
gonna
doing
blow
more
you
than
later.
messaging him about that right
She's gonna
now.
blow you later.
Blowing something.
She's blowing his mind as we speak, I'm sure.
So I think that, I mean, we pretty much covered it. It's the kindness, it's the consideration, it's treat me like a lady, I'll treat you like a gentleman if you behave as one.
Like your mother. Treat
Yeah.
us like your mother.
If you grew up in a home where you experienced seeing a wonderful couple and you're lucky enough that your parents are together and showed a lot of love, then you learn from that. But I also believe that you can learn, you can do as you see, but you can also choose to do something else. If you grew up in a household where there wasn't a lot of love, you get to be an adult and you get to make up your mind about how you behave. You don't have to behave as your example was. There are a lot of people out there in the world that didn't have the greatest example of
Right.
a loving couple. You don't have to do that. You can choose to
Right.
do something else, right? So
It's
I think
very
we,
true.
yeah, we kind of own
Absolutely.
it. Own it.
But the bottom line, too, if you are not getting respect back, peace out.
Right.
Absolutely.
Give it
I
up.
say cheers to
Deuces.
that
Cheers to
one.
that.
Cheers to
Cheers.
that.
I'm out. Time to wrap this one because I've got nothing.